I grew up on Miles Street, which is over by the old ice factory, the ice house off of Dunn Street. And we had an active sports neighborhood. A lot of kids. We played basketball, played softball, or call it baseball. With a softball, we played football in the street. A lot of kids were involved, and it was a real thriving neighborhood with a lot of youngsters and a lot of athletics. Well, football was the main thing. A lot of people don't know this about me, but I was a big hockey fan. We started playing floor hockey at St. Francis in I think it was like 5th grade. And I fell in love with hockey. And they had a national broadcast on NBC during that time. And then the Atlanta Flames were being broadcast on the Superstation. But man, I loved hockey. I still like hockey. We didn't play organized football until I think it was only 1 year, 7th grade. And I played for the Rams, Hark, and the coach was Freddie Melanson. I remember playing in 8th grade, and then 9th grade came, and they said, why not play on the varsity? And I played 9th grade games, varsity games, and I may even played some sophomore. I played like 3 games a week, which is odd for football. But back then, I didn't know no better. Nobody knew any better. I think that was the first year we went to the AAA level. And we were in the district with Lutcher and Destrehan. It was a good district, a competitive district. And we had a good year. It was a kind of a magical run. And we got all the way to the championship game. It was the same night that South Lafourche was playing for the championship in 4A. And we lost to Houghton out of North Louisiana, 21-0. And the thing I remember is Russell Landry broke loose down the sideline. And Russell was a good athlete, was a good player for us. And Russell was headed down the sideline on the left sideline and got hawked down by one of the Houghton defenders. And that kind of was the sign for the night.
But Mr. Morgan would tell me that he said Monday nights they would sit down in front of the TV to watch Monday Night Football. He said they had their sheets that I would give them for our game plan for this upcoming week. And he said Karl would sit there with the old electric football set. And for these old folks out there, they'll remember the old electric football set. He would set up our offense against the opponent's defense. He would set up our defense against their offense and just do certain things with it, studying it while he's watching Monday Night Football. That's a student of the game.
I enjoyed track. It was a different kind of mindset. The track meets were good. To go out on Friday nights and just kind of have a relaxed atmosphere. You did your event and then you sat down and watched everybody else. Camille Morvant was the track coach, I believe, at the time. And, he was in charge of the weights, the throwers. And he taught me how to throw the shot put in the distance. And I was a Tulane Greenway fan. I took 4 visits out of high school. I visited Tennessee, I visited the University of Texas, I visited Tulane and UCLA. And UCLA stood out just to go to California. When I got off the plane, they took me down to the Pacific Ocean, and it was cold now. I went out there that recruiting trip, and man, it was 30-something degrees. But I was on the beach. It was sunshiny, 32, and I like the players. I like the players at UCLA, and they were practicing for a bowl game. They were playing Arkansas in a bowl game, and I just felt like this was the place. The players, I felt comfortable around the players. With Tennessee, the guy left me at the dance on my recruiting trip. The guy that was hosted, and I actually walked back home. I don't know what the place was, but the hotel was a big hotel on the highway that had glass windows. It was a big, nice hotel in Knoxville. And this guy, and I wasn't that socially, aware as far as going to a party and all that kind of stuff and asking people to dance. And so the guy kind of ghosted me. I didn't know where he went. And then I said, I'm getting out of here. And I walked on the highway all the way back. I never said anything to the coaches. Never said nothing. I just said, hey, Tennessee's off the list. But Tulane was my second choice. I liked Tulane. Larry Smith was the head coach, and they had some success. Rock Hollis was the quarterback. They had Charlie Hall at linebacker. They had a lot of good players, and it was local, and it would have been my second choice.
No time remaining. It's over. This is the last play of the game, period. The two-point conversion. The Trojans break the huddle, come up to the 3. Simmons started by going to the right, now goes to the left. Give Moloch the going motion to give him trips. He does. 3 receivers to the right side. The play will go in that direction in all likelihood, and down he goes. The Bruins win it. Karl Morgan saving UCLA.
Fantastic experience. It was really good. I enjoyed the 4 years. They were the best 4 years of my life. It was carefree living. We had some good guys. We had some good teams. It was a good education, a good experience. I met my wife there, and we've been married 36 years. I got 3 boys out of that relationship. And UCLA was just a good time, good coaching staff, great players. And I played with Kenny Easley, who was in the Hall of Fame, Freeman McNeil that played for the Jets. Well, first of all, I went to Canada, played a year up there. I had a good year. I had 10 sacks, was the team's Rookie of the Year nominee. And I was going back for the second year. I went back for the second year and got up there. And when I got to camp, I was on the third team. I went from starting all 16 games and being the Rookie of the Year nominee for the team to being on the third team. And in the middle of training camp in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, I decided I'm not going. Nobody said anything. Nobody told me why. And so I just decided, hey man, I'm out of here. And I walked and went back, drove down to Regina, which is about 2 hours, then drove all the way from Regina, Saskatchewan to Houma, Louisiana by myself in 2 days. When I got home, the Buccaneers called me and they wanted me to come out there and work out for them. And I went out and worked out for them and they signed me and I went to camp. That year, I was supposed to go back for my second year in Saskatchewan. I wound up going to the Buccaneers.
Back at Tampa Stadium, the winless Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a 6-point lead over the undefeated Los Angeles Rams. We have 9 minutes and 43 seconds left to go in the third period. Tampa has a 24-14 lead over Los Angeles. 6 defensive backs in now for the Buccaneers. Dickerson in the backfield for the Rams. And Brock is thrown for another loss. Karl Morgan this time. The 6th quarterback sack of the afternoon for the Buccaneers.
Karl Morgan. I mean, have you heard of Karl Morgan? He was added to this roster after a year in the CFL last year. Second-year man at UCLA. See him on the left. He beats his man right now. Brock is having no time at all. He beat Tony Slayton, who's in there, subbing for Harrah.
And the Buccaneers defense gets a standing ovation.
Everybody's excited when they hear you play in the NFL and this and that. My kids got, when they were growing up, all the other kids, and when they heard that, oh, your daddy played for the NFL, it wasn't a glamorous thing for me. It wasn't. It was a job. And it's funny because I watch Hard Knocks on HBO. And I said, man, I don't recognize that. That wasn't my experience. I see too much laughing and joking, and to me it was hard work. It was hard work. And Tampa Bay was a bad organization, poorly run. My first year, John McKay was the head coach. He used to be at USC with O.J. Simpson, student body right, student body left. And And Tampa was the hottest place I've ever been. I've ever lived. And I'm from South Louisiana. Maybe because I went to California, I got messed up climate-wise. But it was unbearably hot. My proudest moment, and this is not the greatest moment, but my proudest moment is that I never missed a day in training camp. And 2 days back then, it's nothing like it is nowadays. Two points I'll make about professional athletics. Number one, you got to be confident. You got to have self-confidence. Number two, you got to be in the right situation. You got to be in the right organization that is going to take time with you, invest the time into developing you. I was good enough. I wasn't great, but I lost confidence. I lost my confidence. I wound up that 16th week in my third year in Tampa, the 15th week, I'm sorry, they cut me, but they claimed a running back off of waivers, and I got cut, and I got picked up by the Houston Oilers, and I actually got to play with Johnny Meads and Jay Pennison. They were on the team. I think coaching crept into my mind because I wanted to stay involved in athletics. When I was through with athletics, I wanted to be a part of a team still. And coaching allows you to be a part of a team. It allows you to work, to compete also, and to work with others for a common goal. So I think it was a continuation of the athletic mindset that drew me into coaching. I started at Central Catholic High School in Morgan City, and I just started adding the paper. I was helping my daddy had just opened up Morgan's Shoe Repair. My dad was a shoe repairman. He had just opened up Morgan's Shoe Repair, and I wasn't doing anything. I just got released a year and a half. But I wasn't that far away from football. I've been a little bit everywhere. My motto is "Have whistle, will travel." So I was, the high water mark was I got to Purdue University in the Big Ten. Probably my best year coaching, 1996. I had a couple of good players, but it was probably my best year because the guys the defensive ends, I coached the defensive ends, and I moved on to be a head coach for 6 years. Both the programs were struggles. Central Catholic was a struggle. There's something like. My wife thinks that I have a stray dog mindset. I'm gonna take stray pets in, So and no bad words to anybody. I'm not calling you a stray pet at Central Catholic or Mississippi Valley or Houma Community College. It was just some tough jobs, tough, low resource jobs. I'm currently living in Florence, Alabama, which is God's country. I was coaching here. I coached here 5 years at the University of North Alabama, was the defensive coordinator. And I got those jobs in Mississippi. I never left. It was like a 3-hour drive, so we kept the house here. I had both knees replaced the day after Christmas 2017. So I've been on the mend. My knees are better now, but now my hip is killing me, So I've had some health issues, but hey, I'm down, but I'm not out. I still would like to coach somewhere. I don't care if it's somebody's junior high team. I don't care. Coaching is something that I like. It's a ministry. I think you get a chance to affect people, to affect young lives. The biggest thanks I have to give are to my parents, Lloyd and Juanita Morgan. And I say this all the time about them. They were angels waiting on wings. And they were really good people, and they taught us well. They raised us well. I won the Powerball when it came to parents.